Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving with your family, your friends, with your significant other, whoever you spent Thanksgiving with. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And if you didn't have a great Thanksgiving and you're trying to move forward from Thanksgiving, then hopefully these videos will help you get through it. But extra special happy Thanksgiving to Adrien the Problem Broner, because we know he had a great Thanksgiving. Adrien Broner fight Manny Pacquiao January 19th. They just did their whole media press tour. I think they had one in LA and one in New York, I'm gonna say, or something like that. They went to multiple cities, and it was really. I mean, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'll be honest with you. I thoroughly believe that this fight right here, in terms of pay-per-view buys, is going to do more buys than Wilder Fury. That's my personal belief, because I feel like these two, as far as from a promotional standpoint, were just made for each other. But we'll get into that later on. The whole point of this video is I just wanted to give my very, 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 very clear thoughts on this fight, and I'm gonna say it like this, man, because this is about as blunt as I can be. Because I really think boxing fans are hard-headed sometimes, and you just don't listen. You don't listen. So I'm gonna say it as blunt as possible. Adrien the Problem Broner, at this point in his career, on November 23rd, 2018, at 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this point in his career, Adrien Broner is a fat gatekeeper with little to no chance against Manny Pacquiao. I want to say no chance. It's boxing. That would be disrespectful. He has a chance. Every fighter has a chance, but it's very, very little. And just so you guys don't say, "Oh, well, Brendan, here you go again, hating on Adrien Broner." I'm gonna get into why I think he has little to no chance against Manny Pacquiao, and I will give you nothing but facts. So if you get your panties in a bunch and your estrogen levels start rising, it's because I'm giving you the facts. Okay. Now, it is a known fact that Adrien Broner is at the top level of boxing, is one of the most, if not the most, undisciplined fighter in the world. No doubt about it. He's always been undisciplined from the beginning of his career. You can go back as early as 6 years ago, and you can find examples of this. And before I get into what I want to say, what I want to say, Adrien Broner, at this point of his career, he's feeling some type of way about being disrespected by the media, being called a tune-up, getting, for Manny to use him as a stepping stone to Mayweather, and then you got the delusional Broner fans who think that he has any chance in this fight and he's being disrespected and that he's underrated. No, the reason he's at this point in his career is because for year after year after year after year, Adrien Broner has decided to eat like it's Thanksgiving every day. Thanksgiving has become a lifestyle, not just a holiday for Adrien Broner. So because he's decided to live Thanksgiving like it's Thanksgiving every single day of the year for multiple years, and not be the disciplined fighter that he needs to be a top level champion, this is why where he's at. This is why he's being disrespected, and this is why he's being used as a stepping stone for Manny Pacquiao to potentially get a Floyd Mayweather fighter, go to other greener pastures within the PBC stable. But let's just get into it, man. Let's run through the history. Adrien the Problem Broner. Okay, this is a man that in 2012. When he was at 130, he lost his title on the scale, fighting Vicente Escobedo. He was 3 pounds over, got stripped of his WBO 130-pound title, and that was one of the first examples of him being undisciplined that we can go back and look at. So he lost his title, not in the ring but on the scale. Okay, then you fast forward to 2016. He lost that WBA 140-pound title on the scale when he fought Ashley Theophane. He was about almost about a half a pound over against Ashley Theophane, so lost the title there, right? Then when he fought Mike Garcia last year, they had to put a $500,000 penalty in place if Broner did not make the weight, because the Garcia camp and all parties involved were not trying to have it for this fight. But rest assured, Adrien Broner made the weight for that fight. But still, the fact that they had to put a penalty in there just so his ass could get on the treadmill and train properly, it tells you a lot about, just his daily disciplines as a fighter. All right. And then last but not least, and this one to me is arguably the worst one. Okay, when he fought Adrien Granados, prior to fighting Adrien Granados, the fight was initially scheduled to take place at the catch weight of 142. It was a contracted weight of 142 when they first signed. And it was for 12 rounds. And the fight was supposed to take place on February the 11th, 2017, which happened to be my birthday. So I remember this very well. The fight, about 3 weeks before the fight, 2-3 weeks before the fight, they announced the fight got pushed up a week. So it got pushed up a week to the 18th, and the weight changed magically. The weight changed from 142 to 147, and they lowered the rounds from 12 to 10. And all of this was to accommodate Adrien Broner and his undisciplined, goofy ass not making the weight. Straight up, like that's why they changed everything. To accommodate him. And then the sad thing is he went there. He had all those advantages against Granados. Yeah, he got the decision, but it was a very harder and split decision. And a lot of people, myself included, I was very vocal about it, believe he lost that fight. I scored it 6 rounds to 4 for Granados. Close fight, but I thought Granados deserved the decision. He wasn't going to get it on the night. But I use these examples and I say all these things to let you guys know that Adrien Broner is a fat gatekeeper with little to no chance against Manny Pacquiao. Straight up. Because even if Adrien Broner reverted back to the guy he was when he fought, let's say, Antonio DeMarco, right? And mind you, when he fought DeMarco, no disrespect to DeMarco was a solid fighter, but he had a style for Broner that was very tailor-made for him. Broner always struggles with guys who have good work rates. It is a proven fact. If you can box at all, you can beat Adrien Broner. If you have a high work rate at all, you have a chance to beat Adrien Broner. I mean, look at Maidana, look at Porter, look at Granados and the time he gave him, and then obviously he's lost to just more skilled guys like Mikey Garcia. And then if you go back into the past, when he like his I think it was his 11th or 12th professional fight when he fought on ESPN Friday Night Fights, he fought Fernando Quintero. And most people don't remember this fight unless you really follow and you're up in your boxing. He fought Fernando Quintero on ESPN Friday Night Fights, and Quintero was a kind of a slick boxer type, but he had no power. You can go check his resume. I think he had like a couple fights on his resume, and he had no knockouts in his entire career. He was not known as a hard puncher, but he outboxed Adrien Broner. Teddy Atlas and all people at ringside scored the fight for Fernando Quintero. He got robbed in that fight. So Adrien Broner is not for his entire career, and I'm going to quote Paulie Malignaggi because Paulie Malignaggi said this one before Al Heyman bought him off. Adrien Broner is what happens when you get a bunch of greedy promoters and all the worst things that people in boxing all together. You get Adrien Broner. You get this byproduct of Adrien Broner, a guy who's not disciplined, who's spoiled, who's entitled, and has gotten every opportunity, who's been afforded every opportunity in the world to be the biggest star in American boxing and maybe even boxing at large at times, but he blew it, and now he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. And I think to say that a lot of people I've seen people say that Broner's getting disrespected, yada yada yada. I don't think it's warranted. It's warranted. It's warranted disrespect because people have seen this movie before. They've heard you say I'm gonna beat this guy's motherfucking ass, and I'm gonna do this. I'm focused. I'm gonna let my head. No. Okay, you go look at Adrien Broner. You look at him right now. The dude looks like he looks tubby. He looks like a Teletubby. He looks like Grimace. Okay, he is gonna spend the majority of his training camp trying to get this weight off, and he's not gonna really have time to work on his game plan. And when you're fighting a guy, even at his advanced age, as good as Manny Pacquiao, you have to be on your P's and Q's, because if you're not, that is your ass. Straight up. It's your ass. Straight up. So you need to really be the best version of yourself to fight Manny Pacquiao. And, Manny Pacquiao being a southpaw, Manny Pacquiao being someone that, although he's not 2009 Manny Pacquiao, he's still someone that does let his hands go. He does throw punches. He can still put together some very, very wonderful combinations. And these kind of combinations are enough to keep the likes of Jesse Vargas at bay, a guy that Broner fought to a draw. A lot of people thought Vargas won. It was a close fight. But I'm saying it was enough to keep Vargas coming off of the biggest one of his career. It kept him at bay. It's kept, Matisse at bay. And Matisse is known as a come forward, fighter, a guy who's all action all the time. Go watch the Pacquiao fight. He wasn't coming forward at Pacquiao. Pacquiao was whooping his ass because Pacquiao knows how to throw combinations. And the funny thing is, people always say like, well, Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez and he got knocked out by these guys and he's not good at moving his head. Like I interviewed Rick Glazer and big shouts out to him. You know, when I interview Rick, he talks, he knows his boxing, I let him talk. I don't agree with him or see eye to eye with him on everything, but he said that Manny Pacquiao is not very good at moving his head. I disagree. Since Manny Pacquiao's fought, since he got knocked out by Marquez, if you go watch all of his fights, he's not throwing as many punches, but he's learned to pick and choose his spots. And and he can be aggressive in his spots but not get hit as much, which in my opinion, in some ways, it's actually made him a more dangerous fighter because now he's more calculated with his offense. And that's why he's been able to maintain being a top 5 welterweight even now going into his 40s, which is insane. It doesn't happen in boxing. Okay, so you gotta ask yourselves, why is Manny Pacquiao still one of the top 5, one of the best welterweights in the world, even at 40? About to be 40 years old when this fight happens, and it's because he had to adjust his approach. He had to tweak his approach in some ways. You know, he still fights pretty much the same way. It's just more calculated. So, in my opinion, he's still that's made him a fantastic fighter going to this day. But it's going to be a tall task to ask Adrien Broner to just go in there and defeat Manny Pacquiao because, you know, you're asking him to go in there and let his hands go, which is something he doesn't like to do. You're asking him to go in there and you know, he's a counter puncher. You know, he likes to let his opponents lead. So maybe he might find the right shot. We don't know. But even his counter punching, even as for all the talent he still does have left, you know, even his counter punching in recent years has declined. So it's a tall task. But yeah, I just wanted to really get these thoughts out here because this is a man that has shown himself to be very undisciplined in the past, and I don't think that it's just going to change in a day. You know, on this channel here on True School Sports, there's a phrase we use around here in these parts, and it goes a little something like this: once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake. And what that basically means is, especially more so in boxing, once a fighter has his habits and things that he does, he might tweak some things, but who he is who he is. They always wind up reverting back to type. Okay, so that's what it is. Those are my thoughts on Adrien Broner. You look at him in the press conference. He's standing sideways with Pacquiao. You know, he's got quite a lot of work to do in training camp. So, you know, hopefully for him, he can come in to the fight ready to fight, on weight, and he can go give a good account of himself, and, you know, prove the naysayers like myself up, because I've always been a Adrien Broner critic, because I think there's a lot of guys who deserve more opportunity than him in boxing, and he constantly gets opportunity after opportunity because of his ability to sell fights, which is, you know, fair play to him. He's learned how to talk, market himself, but really the antics, and, you know, at some point you have to really start boxing has to stop rewarding the wrong things: mediocrity, undisciplined fighters. You know, you gotta stop rewarding that. You gotta stop rewarding guys who can just talk, but when they get in the ring, they suck. So, you know, drop your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single video. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.